In the Great Kitchen Set this morning with Chef Stuart Reb Donald from Bay City Grill. Good morning, Stuart.
Hey, good morning, Joe. How's it going, man?
Fantastic. Looks like we're making a sweet treat for the mornings. What is this going to be, Stuart?
Oh, what I'm going to do is make a bread pudding. It's a traditional thing down here in the South. And this one I'm going to put a little twist on. I'm going to make it a French toast bread pudding.
All right.
And that way it's dessert you can have for breakfast.
Dessert you can have for breakfast or any other time of the day. I like that.
Yeah, what I did is I came up with this because, be it the holidays or for a wedding or whatever, you might have a lot of family in town and they're going to want you to fix breakfast. If you can throw a pan of the French toast bread pudding in there, you throw it in, 45 minutes, you come out, everybody spoons in what they want, and you're ready to go.
All your problems are washed away. All right, let's get this started. What are we going to do here?
Okay, well, I've taken some stale bread, and that's the great thing about bread puddings. You can use anything to make it, not just French bread. You can use leftover dinner rolls, leftover birthday cake, or what I'm using, I've got some dinner rolls and some maple glazed donuts.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, so I just kind of broke them up, just tore them loosely, put them in the pan. The next thing you want to do is make a custard.
So we're not making the healthiest thing this morning.
No.
But it definitely is going to be quite tasty.
Right. Actually, I've got a tip for making this healthy.
Okay.
You just leave out the eggs, the milk, the sugar, and the butter, and replace it all with rice cakes.
Perfect. All right, there you go.
Okay. So I'm going to mix up my eggs just a little bit here. Then I'm going to add some milk. And that is the definition of a custard right there. It's a combination of a liquid dairy product and eggs.
Okay.
And ice cream is the most classic example of a custard that most of us know.
Sure.
Then I'm going to add just a touch of sugar.
That was just a touch right
Just
there?
a touch of sugar.
Just a touch. I'd hate to see what a lot of sugar is.
Okay. I'm going to put in just some spices. Got a little nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla. And I mean, it's such an easy dish. We're almost done here.
Okay.
Just want to mix that up good, and I'm going to pour it all over my torn up pieces of bread and donut.
Torn up bread and donuts. So good.
And you were talking about the health factor, and we all need to get more healthy things in our life. So I'm going to add some real butter because margarine is terrible for you.
Right. I like that about you, Stuart.
Yeah. And then that butter is going to give a little bit of fat mixed up in there. It's going to make everything nice and
good.
Yeah, good. Is
nice
good
and good.
And I'm going to throw it in the oven. I've got it at 400 degrees. I'm going to go for about 45 minutes with a small pan like this.
All right.
And then while that's doing, we can make our hard sauce. Now, hard sauce is what makes this a French toast bread pudding because I'm going to make it with butter, maple syrup, and of course a little bit of bourbon because it's a breakfast food.
Of course. So Cherish is going to come back in the kitchen and continue to make this delicious dessert, breakfast dessert type thing with you all this morning. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Back in our Great Kitchen Set on Studio 10 with Chef Stuart Reb Donald from Bay City Grill. We're making something sweet this morning.
Yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put together a hard sauce. And I met a girl one time up in Nashville that was from up north, and she said, I don't understand why Southerners are so crazy about bread pudding. It's just toast. And I was making one, and that's what brought it up. And then she said, what's that you're making? I said, well, that's the sauce that goes on top. She goes, I've never had bread pudding with sauce.
Really?
And that's what I thought.
You have to have the sauce.
I said, Kate, you've got something wrong here. Bread pudding is not food. It's a very thick, chunky cocktail.
Very good dessert.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I've got some butter slowly melting here, and you can just set this on the lowest thing because the bread pudding is going to be in there for a while. Usually you'll add sugar to it. What I'm going to do is add real maple syrup.
Okay.
And I don't mean Aunt Butterworth or Miss Jemima or whoever it is, the syrup that's maple flavored. I mean real maple syrup from Vermont, New Hampshire, or our other state, Canada.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add just a touch of alcohol. In this case, I'm using bourbon.
All right.
And pretty much just let that
smell that.
let that sit there until the butter completely melts, and you've got a hard sauce.
All right, sounds good. So we're letting the butter melt. Do we need to do any stirring with it?
Every now and then you'll just take the whisk and just give it a little stir.
Okay.
You don't want to set it on too high heat because what you're trying to avoid doing is having the milk fats in the butter burn. So a nice low heat and everything will be right. And you also don't want to burn out the alcohol because this is This is a food that's supposed to make you feel good when you're done.
Okay, yes, a very filling food. Now tell us, while this is kind of simmering, tell us more about Bay City Grill.
Bay City Grill, for those that are from the North Mobile County area, it is the old Leroy's Barbecue, and it's been purchased by a local family. Gina, one of the owners, grew up in Satsuma, wanted to come back to the neighborhood and give back to the community. I mean, their entire family, you know, you can stop by and you'll see them or one of the kids there helping out.
Oh, neat.
And it was just traditional pub grub. We're doing burgers, fries, great hot wings. We do a nasty little gyro. Oh, it's good.
But nasty is good in this
Oh,
sense.
yeah. Nasty is in its food that you wear, and the best food is always food you wear. Okay, and our hours are Monday through Saturday. We open at 10:30 and run a lunch shift. Then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, we also do a dinner course, and then we're closed on Sundays.
Okay, well, sounds good, and I'm sure great food and some great desserts as well.
Absolutely. We've got cannoli. We're one of the few places in town that have a cannoli.
Okay, you got to stop by and try that. And you got to get this recipe on our website, Studio 10 tab, fox10tv.com. We'll get to see the finished product, and Joe will get to taste it when we come back.
All right.
Okay.
Kitchen set with Chef Stuart Reb Donald from Bay City Grill. We're making delicious, sweet breakfast dessert type treats this morning.
Absolutely. Let's pull it out of the oven and let you have a look at it.
All right, here we go. Now tell the folks exactly what you call this again.
This is a French toast bread pudding.
French toast bread pudding, and it looks oh so good. Check that out.
Yeah, and you know, really, bread pudding and French toast are almost the same thing. It's dry bread soaked with a custard. You just cook it a different way.
So when you mix the two together like this recipe does, it's even better.
Right, absolutely. So I'm going to start with a little bit of that hard sauce on the bottom of my plate.
Okay.
And that's just because, you know, I hate it when I get a cake and I get to the last bite and there's no icing.
I know.
So I'm making sure there's icing in all of this.
Everyone's always frustrated when that happens.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that.
Get that on there. And I'm going to top you off with a little bit more of the hard sauce.
I like that.
You got somebody to pick you up, right?
That is funny. I'm going to try some of this out. While I do so, Stuart, tell the folks one more time about Bay City Grill.
All right, Bay City Grill, it's on Highway 43 in Satsuma. It's kind of hard to miss, right across from the ball field and right down from the high school. And like, once again, it's family owned and operated. They want to be a part of the community, and the community in Satsuma is really embracing us. I mean, we are getting busy. They love our burgers especially. That's what everybody in Satsuma and Saraland, Chickasaw is talking about, is how great our burgers are.
Well, that's fantastic. You got to go check that out for yourself, and you can check this recipe out on the Studio 10 tab on fox10tv.com. This is delicious, Stuart.
You like that, huh?
I love it. I'm going to get some more. Thank you so much for coming in this morning and making my day with this sweet treat.
All right, thanks for having me on.